How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I've ended up. It's kind of been a bit of a mad one tonight with as far as the footage and doing different missions. In the end, I settled. Well, like in the end, Mark II settled on emergency retrieval. So just a mission that's on the Heartlands map, where I've got to go and rescue an ANK from like a river crossing that's just been abandoned on its side for a little while. And originally I was going to take the Derry 4520, and I did actually set off from the garage, got just down the road. The Derry is pretty crap at being able to carry a goddamn horse of a vehicle, which is never a good thing for me. But yeah, what I thought I would do was set off with the loaf and kind of stash him near to where the ANK that I'm going to rescue is, just so I had make sure I've got fuel and repairs and whatever, just to make the mission go a bit smoother. And then I was going to drive the Derry there, but just loaf things happen. I set off with a loaf, I was having a good old time, and then yeah, I just kind of ended up doing the mission in the loaf. So I just also showed in the footage like the route I ended up taking with the loaf, which I got afterwards. So if you notice that there's like not a little ANK on the map, that's why. This is kind of post doing that mission. But yeah, all that was going on. Like, I ended up doing this after attempting again the what's it called, damage evaluation contract that mostly takes part on the Institute map. Yeah, it's not the first time I've attempted the mission, and I don't know what it is about it. I just really don't like the mission. There's something about it that just annoys me pretty quickly with it. So the other week I kind of set off with a International HX520. You had to go over to the Institute map to, I think this one might be called the Science Wing, and once you get there then it told me where the cistern was and that you need to go and collect that. But it didn't tell you anything about like the size of it and all the rest of it. It's a 5-slot piece of cargo. I didn't have a trailer big enough or any of that going on, so essentially it was kind of like a wasted journey. So then tonight I set off with the P512PF. And that's one thing, when I was going through the different vehicles on which one to choose, I wanted preferably an American vehicle so I could get the yellow crane, which I was hoping seems to be working a bit better than the blue Russian crane these days. And then I kind of noticed, like, when I was going through, there's not many vehicles like in the American lineup that are nice big hefty vehicles that also have like a decent selection of add-ons and combinations that you can build. You got like the P16, which I do like as a truck, but that's got practically no like add-ons and all the rest of it. The P12, I don't know, I've never really been too much of a fan of that. It feels like a little bit on the weak side for my liking. So I kind of compromising them with the P512PF, which overall I do quite like. But yeah, then you've got like the twin steer, that hasn't really got any like setup combinations on the go. Yeah, I set off, did the mission, or like attempted to, got there. The yellow crane was pretty terrible as well, to be honest. It might have the edge over the blue crane, but I don't know, only in terms that it's maybe not quite as terrible. I wouldn't really say it ranks as like, yeah, any good. But it's one of those missions where you can't really take a big crane, or you can, but then you're going to have to do a road train all the way there, which is going to take quite a while because there's quite a lot of driving on that damage evaluation contract. And yeah, I ended up getting the cistern though, even though it was a bit of a pain in the arse to load on the trailer, and it kept saying impossible to pack. And then on the way back, there's a river crossing on the Institute map that is horrific, to be honest. Whoever made it needs to be demoted from making river crossings. It's like there's a bridge there, that, like a wooden bridge that's partly collapsed. There's loads of wooden posts sticking out the floor that for some weird reason you can't winch to, even though they definitely get in the way. And yeah, I just kind of got the trailer wedged on the bridge and all sorts, and I just to the point where I really didn't have the enthusiasm to do the mission. I don't know why, I don't know what it is about it. I'm just very hostile towards that mission. So yeah, as soon as it started messing around, I was like, oh, sod it. I'm not even going to start getting stressed over that mission. And then yeah, I selected this mission instead. And then had the whole situation with the Derry being like, yeah, not very good at taking the loaf with it. That originally was where I was just going to drive the loaf, park it there, and yeah, like that's it, set off with the Derry. But as you can see, just ended up staying in the loaf. Stupid little wooden bridge there that collapses as soon as you drive over it. You see, this is just one of many things I like about me loaf. You can get the job done. I'd even be willing to say this was probably a quicker mission in the end than if I'd actually used the derry. See, like that tree there as well, the dead tree lying across the road. The loaf, one of the many things I've always liked about it, is once anything's like under the chassis, there's nothing really to catch on underneath the loaf. He can dig his little loaf holes when he needs to for extra grip, but yeah, like the axles and all the rest of it don't catch those dead trees, whereas like various vehicles would. Even, I imagine, that derry would find some way to get caught on that tree. Most vehicles do, so I'm not really holding it against just that. But yeah, the loaf is one of the few that just doesn't. As long as the bumper can physically like get over something, then everything just slides right underneath, which is good because then you don't get caught on stuff. Yeah, and as you can see, it was like, well, I'll just park the loaf here, and then it was like, well, I'll just flip the ANK over, and then, well, I'll just tow it out of that little river crossing, and then yeah, okay, it was only about now. That's one thing I was going to say, like with this whole video, it's kind of it's sort of scruffy with the editing and all the rest of it. I kind of got lost in just playing around with the loaf, and originally didn't plan on having like me driving there as part of the footage for the video and all the rest of it, and just when I stopped a minute ago, that was when I finally realised, like, oh, I am kind of doing this mission with a loaf, so I should probably save some of the footage and kind of get it in some order. So yeah, it's a little bit kind of scruffy and all over the place. There's a few little glitches that hit me as well, and it's one of them where, I don't know, it was either like just, I'm not going to do the video and then I'll skip it, but I didn't really want to skip another one again, so I was just like, yeah, I'll put the video together, but it is a little bit rough around the edges. See, that's what I needed in the end, was just a good old bit of loaf time, where the game's not trolling me. And you see, again, cutting across the countryside, if you just don't take the roads that the game wants you to take, then all the maps and everything feel pretty fair and balanced, and it's actually like quite a nice drive in the end. When you go the way the game wants you to go, that's when things go wrong. And yeah, that P512 PF, I do like it. It's a good vehicle, but after driving it tonight, it really needs all-wheel drive, because it's, especially in this kind of game where you're just always off-roading, it's too much of a big truck really to have the whole front section of it not putting any effort in. There's a few like river crossings I was driving over, and obviously you can drop it down into low, put the diffs on, and the rear wheels are putting some effort in, but yeah, the front just sits there doing nothing, and I think by now they could probably do with tweaking it. So we'll see what happens when they add Phase 9, not that I'll be holding my breath for them adding all-wheel drive to that, but they could do with like a little bit of an overhaul on quite a few of the vehicles really. You can see now as well, once you're towing a vehicle with like road trains, it kind of has a speed cap on the go. I reckon I'm possibly going even slower now than I would have been like when I was just freestyling across the map. There's another little glitch got me. See the amount of damage the ANK took. I can't really see because it overlapped the damage mechanics, but I think it might have been 100 for the suspension on that one. Just make that a little bit longer. Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, the winch, if the winch is too short, it kind of tries to lift the back end of the loaf up, and he's not having that. And yeah, I mean, this is one reason why, with the road trains, I like doing road trains on this game, but you can see when you're going along like just an actual road, it kind of looks too slow. Once you're going across fields and off-road bits and river crossings and all that, the kind of overall tempo sort of slows down enough where you don't really notice it. But yeah, at the minute I could do with dropping the hammer. Although still, strictly speaking, it's not that slow, like compared to say one of the bigger trucks that have been like the advanced special gearbox and stuff like that. It's probably about the same pace. So I even had my loaf, left him in like original blue and white because it was quite a good colour match with the derry. But yeah, they just need to, like, that stupid winch pack on the back of the derry drives me mad because it hogs such a good bit of space. It also limits loads of add-ons that you'd really be able to fit on with the derry. So yeah, tonight was one of them where I tried a few different missions, it wasn't really going to plan, and I just ended up having some good old loaf time. And I was hoping as well, because when I get around here, it's going to do a tiny glitch again now, apologies for that, but there was just a square that I had to drive into. As soon as the ANK touched it, it was mission complete. Yeah, I tried changing vehicle there, but it won't let me go into the ANK, when you actually read on the mission thing, it says something like, I think it's like a lifesaver, and then it says here, it's yours, which kind of reads like it's going to give you the ANK, but it doesn't, so I don't know if it's supposed to mean the money. It was about £5 for the mission, which is not terrible. But yeah, I've got a feeling that originally they were supposed to give us like the actual truck. There's a few other missions where it's done the same, because normally otherwise it'd make the truck vanish once you've completed the mission, but yep, it's not gonna let us have it. But anyway, that's another one in the bag. Got it done with a loaf, and yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my Patreon members. Get yourself a loaf, because he is goddamn professional and he gets the job done, and I'll be back soon.